To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is the Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Shawn Whittington. I am a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, and we have a great show for you today. And I'm coming to you live from my haunted house, where I live. My guest, you know how it goes if you've ever done a live radio show or live podcast like this or video cast. Um, Things go wrong. Sometimes you just things go wrong. It is what it is. We haven't been able to connect with my guest yet. My producers, Zach and Adrian, are manning the green room and manning the studio, the StreamYard studio. And if she happens to pop in, they will pipe her right through to me. So, what you have today, ta-da, yours truly, which um, gives me a chance to answer. I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed and behind on a lot of questions people send in to me. Most of them go in the mailbag, but I think I'll just do a impromptu Q&A, uh, answer a lot of questions that have been sent in to me. You guys are given the invitation from yours truly to, if you have any questions you've ever wanted to ask the Rev, um, type them in the chat room there. You can't call in, but you can type them into the chat room, and Zach and Adrian will see the question and put it up on the screen for me, and I'll address it. And so, if it's just me today, I may be here for an hour, maybe not for the full hour. But thank you all so very much for tuning in, spending an hour out of your busy Friday to hang out with me, because I don't have a show without you guys. So God bless each and every one of you. Um, let's get to the prayer urn. We can do that. Heather K. from California. I'm going to confession at my church this coming Saturday. Well, good for you, Heather. That's great. It's been a while and I'm nervous. Nothing to be nervous about. Could you offer up a prayer for me to hold me over until Saturday? I love this request. Heather, God bless you. I love this request. And you know what? It's going to give me an opportunity to offer up a prayer for you. And I'm going to offer up one of my all time favorite prayers. So that's what I love about this request. It's a prayer called the Confiteor. And I hope you love it as much as me. I'm going to offer this prayer up for you. I offer this prayer up for Heather. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I confess to Almighty God, to Blessed Mary, ever Virgin, to Blessed Michael the Archangel, to Blessed John the Baptist, to the holy apostles Peter and Paul, and to all the saints, that I have sinned, exceedingly in thought, word, and deed, through my fault, through my fault, through my most grievous fault. Therefore, I beseech Blessed Mary, ever Virgin, Blessed Michael the Archangel, Blessed John the Baptist, the holy apostles Peter and Paul, and all the saints, to pray to the Lord our God for me and Heather. May Almighty God have mercy on me, forgive me my sins, and bring me to everlasting life. Amen. May the Almighty and merciful Lord grant me pardon, absolution, and remission of all my sins. Amen. I love that prayer. Good for you, Heather. Nothing to be nervous about. The Holy Spirit will, you know what? You didn't ask for this. I'm going to do this for you. And you get a brand new one. I just put a brand new candle in this brand new, beautiful glass votive candle holder that my wife bought me. So I'm going to light a candle for you and your and for your confession session tomorrow with your priest. Heather, may the Holy Spirit enter and intervene in your life and remain with you for the remainder of this journey that you're on and on to the next. Amen. Okay. And I'm not telling any Christians and Catholics out there anything you don't already know, how important confession is. Try to go as often as possible. And if you can't get to a church, you just talk to God at home. You know, um, confess your sins to God and ask for His forgiveness and say some prayers like that one that I said. Okay, let's check the mailbag. The Paranormal Ministry mailbag. Mark Y. from Tennessee. I love Tennessee. In addition to demons, can spirits also possess people? Wow, another great question. Okay, let me start by saying the longer I'm in this field, it feels like the less I know. No one has all the answers. No one knows it all. There are no experts. In my humble opinion, it's been my experience that there are spirits that sometimes are powerful enough to, a friend of mine refers to it as being jumped, can jump in and out. You've got your very gifted, talented trance channel mediums that channel the spirits. You have some of my Hindu friends that practice deity yoga. Sometimes they're very gifted and channel spirits. So it's not possession in the sense that I think you're asking about because you've mentioned the name demons. It's not demonic possession, but I do believe some spirits are powerful enough and have the ability to jump in and out of people. But it's nothing like demonic possession. Demonic possession is a completely different animal and beast, if you will. And that's a topic for another day. Now, having said that, that should throw up a red flag to everybody in this field because if you are a very gifted person, and whether you feel you are or not, it's been my experience, again, my humble experience. A lot of people I meet in this field are very gifted and they don't even know it. And I believe that that is the reason why they're so passionate about being in the paranormal field, whether it's just being a ghostbuster or a paranormal investigator or, um, you know, just like to go and listen to people's ghost stories and go and take tours of the haunted tours all over the United States in these different cities. Um, I believe that that's why they don't know why they're so passionate about it, and that's why because they're gifted. So you have to be careful. It's like why I sometimes I capture some of the most wonderful evidence, whether it be film or still camera or EVPs, what have you, and I don't share them. I had a very bad experience once sharing two bad experiences. One time I shared a picture of um, an entity that I'd captured on a landing in a home, and when I showed it to the owner, she fainted, and we were at the top of the stairs. It was lucky I was there to catch her, or she would have fallen and probably really got hurt bad. And then I belong to some of the largest paranormal groups here on Facebook that are on Facebook. And back in the day, I would think that the group. This is why we're in this group. People want to see other people's evidence and talk about it and try to debunk it or not, or just you know talk shop. But I found some of the really heavy duty evidence, especially if it was of a demonic nature or a very malevolent nature. When I shared those pictures, many gifted people that belong to some of these groups um, would get very upset, not at me, but like ill, because the bad mojo and bad energy attached to these films and these stills would jump right off the page at them, literally, and make them ill. So I backed off from doing that. And there's a lot to that, the transference of energy when it comes to those types of things. That's why I always warn people, be careful sharing evidence, be careful antique shopping and collecting haunted items, alleged haunted items. You got to be careful with that stuff. And you got to be careful. You got to be respectful of the location you're investigating. Even if it's just a ghost tour, be respectful. Be respectful of the spirits because we just don't know. And last thing you want is to come under the attack of any type of spiritual entity. It's not fun, even if it's not demonic. It's just not fun. So, that would have been a great question to ask my guest if she pops in. I'm going to leave this question out here just in case she pops in and ask her what she thinks about that. So, if there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. That's our website. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things there to see. Keep in mind that my wife and I do not charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So I know times are tough, but if you're there and you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and trust me, we'll put it to good use. While you're there visiting, um, I am also a certified spiritual advisor. Yes, I'm in the seminary, and God willing, I make it all the way to the priesthood and become an ordained priest. And one day you'll be calling me Father. But until that day, there's this place on the website where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues if they're not attached to the paranormal. But one day that's going to go away. One day, if I do become an ordained priest, I will probably do away with that. Um, I don't know. I just will do away with it. I won't feel right about being an ordained priest and charging people for spiritual advice. That won't be what I'm all about. So, but I am currently a certified spiritual advisor. So, until that day, if there's issues that you'd like to speak to the Rev about when it comes to that, there's a place where you can make an appointment to speak with me on the website there. But don't leave the website without navigating over to the page called the WSE course/book. On that page, you'll find the ghost store. In the ghost store, you'll find all kinds of cool stuff, like this awesome throwback ghostbegone.biz coffee cup, t-shirts, hoodies, other things. If you go for that sort of stuff, there's some cool things to purchase in there. But scroll a little bit further down on that page, and you'll see my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. But don't let that scare you off of purchasing a copy. I like to refer to the book as a very different kind of feel good story. There's a lot of good versus evil where good wins. But the best part about the book, if you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Nevada, and the ASPCA. So, your purchase of my book helps some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. How cool is that? You can purchase the book at Amazon for a little less expensive, but you can get an autographed copy if you order it off of the website. And that book will come to you enclosed in a house blessing kit. So that's very cool also. And this is a great time to purchase the book. I'll tell you why. God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry 2, Chronicles of an American Exorcist, comes out this summer. It was supposed to come out summer, late summer. Now it's going to be fall. It'll be November, I promise. The book's ready. Annette's my publisher ready to push the button and send it out. It's ready to go. But I talk about something in the book that's a big secret right now. And the secret's not going to be revealed till November. So I can't put the book out and be responsible for that. But the book's going to come out in November. I promise. It's done. But there's a couple of stories in there that I talk about in book one that, of course, they weren't wrapped up yet. And so I bring closure to those stories in the second book, along with some other stories that I am sharing in that book that I thought I would never share. But a lot of colleagues in this field that know me and love me said they're like a monkey on your back, man. You got to release that energy and throw them out to the cosmos for what good it may do to anybody that may experience whatever they're going to experience reading these stories. So get them out there. So I did. So this is a great time to get the first book, get caught up before you hopefully want to buy the second book. But I'll warn you, the first book, if you get it from me, um, it's haunted. Yeah, Rev, your book is haunted. Okay. On page 198, the bottom photo there. We're not sure if that's a little girl or a little boy. I was out in the middle of nowhere at a haunted location. It's closed to the public, but there were some docents there that were having some issues with an entity, and they asked me to come out and investigate. And I took a photo and caught that entity. Interesting thing is since I started having a nice supply of my books here in the office that I autograph and send out to people, my wife has seen that many times sitting here at this desk. My wife has seen that entity. Uh, well, first, it looks like me. Call it a doppelganger, if you will. I'm not sure what it is. She first sees me sitting here, and then it turns into the apparition that's in that photo. And that apparition walks out of our office, down our hallway, and across our living room and out our back door. I don't get my spidey senses don't go up that, like, it's something to worry about, malevolent or anything of that nature. But I find it very interesting. And some of the people that have purchased the book for me that got them from my office here that I autographed said that shortly after the book arrived in their home, they saw that apparition in their house. That's mind blowing. So just thought I would throw that out there. Just like if I was a real estate agent trying to sell a haunted house, I'd be honest with you about the house possibly being haunted and let you decide, if you want to purchase it or not. So that's the story with the first book. The story with the second book is, yeah, I upped my game on this one. These were stories I never planned on sharing. So if you get the second book when it comes out in November, don't read it alone. Don't read it at night. Say a prayer before and after you read the book. You probably won't read the whole book at one sitting. So say a prayer before you read whatever it is you're going to read. When you stop reading and you're done, say another little prayer. And if you get the book from me, they'll be on Amazon. There'll be a good deal on Amazon too for a box set of the two books if you're interested in that. But if you do get that book from me, there'll be a supply of them here in the office. I will bless every book before they go out. So just a little word of warning. Okay, that's the story about the books. Scroll a little further down on that page, you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I am a founding member. I offer a college-level online course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSE. And this is the course for all you true warriors for Christ out there who feel a calling and a longing to want to have more knowledge when it comes to drawing your line in the sand, making a stand, circling the wagons, and putting up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil if it ever comes calling. This is the course for you. You can enroll in the course off of the website. If you would like more information about the course before making that type of commitment, there is a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page, or you can just reach out to me. I'm approachable. I'm easy to find, easy to get a hold of, and we can talk about the course and see if it's right for you. The course is unlike any other course like it out there. And of course, I'm going to also say that the instructor, which is me, is unlike any other instructor you're probably going to run into um, that has a course like this. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, and I will also, along with that certificate, send you some very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. So please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. And if you end up signing up for the course, God bless you. And anything that you get from me that uh, costs you anything, a lot of that money goes out to. I just named three of them, but there's many charities that I support. It's what you do when you're in clergy. Just you don't even think about it; it just comes natural. Anything you see on TV that bothers you, brings a tear to your eye, and takes your breath away, that you just are that upsets you. You just next thing you know, you're supporting it and sending them money. It's just what you do. So that's it. Alrighty, where do we go from here? I am going to. Somebody just reached out to me the other day and asked me, um, Rev, you have, and Rev. Well, I don't go by Rev anymore. I'm a seminarian. Uh, if I become an ordained deacon first, which I have to be before I become an ordained priest, I can go back to being reverend. But right now, I'm just a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, so I don't go by Rev anymore. Somebody asked the other day, who enters the seminary at 62? I guess I do. Um, yeah, what was I thinking? I'll tell you what I was thinking. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to do my best not to give up anything I'm not supposed to give up here, but I went to LA for 2 weeks in November. Yeah, November. I remember correctly of 2021 to work on a project. Um, once in a lifetime, life changing opportunity, which you will all get to see in November of this year. And then I went back for a couple of weeks right after Easter in 2022, back to LA for a couple of weeks to wrap up this project. I met some of the most wonderful people you could imagine. Many, probably every single person involved in this project, all of you know them if you've been in the paranormal field. But one day, I'm sitting in my trailer, and in walks this gentleman happens to be a bishop, and he walked in, and we're just chatting a little bit, and I've never told him this story, so I know he's not watching, but he just out of the blue says, uh, "Shawn, have you ever? First of all, Shawn, you have a pure heart, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever thought about the United States Old Catholic Church? I think you would be a great priest." Well, I told him that that was my mother speaking through him, but I didn't tell him that I visually saw my mother's face imposed over his face as he was saying this to me. And I don't know if he felt anything or not, but that was clearly a message from my mother who, when I was growing up, many times she asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And just being a dumb kid, I would say, "I want to be a pro football player or a cop or a fireman or whatever." I said. It was never priest, but she would always say, "You should be a priest." And I would just laugh and think, "Yeah, my mom is a whack job." But so that was my mother speaking through him, and that was a sign. Long story short, you don't just jump into the seminary. There's a interview process, and so by the good graces of God, I was accepted by the Council of Bishops from the United States Old Catholic Church to enter their seminary. So it's now in God's hands. He's literally taking me by the hand and walking me down this path. So I'll keep you all posted. But it's overwhelming how much I know now that I didn't know. And here I am, baptized Catholic, First Communion, confirmation. Um, sure, just like many Catholics, got away from the church here and there, came back, got away from the church again, came back, didn't go to church as much as I should. But long story short, I thought I knew a lot about Catholicism. And it's just to go into the seminary, there's just so much. But when you're really passionate about something and God is literally grabbing you by the hand and walking you down that path, it's there's no pressure. You feel unworthy and you feel like you always want to do better than you're doing. That's the only issue. But it's not a bad feeling like why did I make this move? So keep me in your prayers. Um, but that's why I entered the seminary and this project that I worked on. Uh, really, really cool. And you guys will get all know about it this coming November. So we'll see what happens. So that brings me to this. I get people that reach out to me because of what I do. Of course, I'm staring at, a list of paranormal questions here that I'm probably going to get to. But a lot of people reach out to me and want to know about, you know, uh, Shawn, you talk a lot about the issues of divine intervention that you have experienced in your life. Why don't you ever share those? You share a lot of your personal paranormal experiences, but you don't share much of the uh, divine intervention. And I'm just going to just hit you right between the eyes with why. Those. Uh oh! Look who just popped in.
Hi there. I'm so sorry. I was thinking 4 o'clock Pacific time. I'm so glad that I checked on this.
That's okay. That's okay. Brothers and sisters, this is the first time you and I are meeting. Is it Tara or Tara?
Tara,
Tara. Tara, God bless you for showing up. I knew
thank
that it was
you.
something, it was either something like that, something minor, and you would pop in if you could pop in. So, brothers and sisters, I will have to hold off on some of my divine intervention stories for another day. Um, Tara, I am so happy that you are here. I've been wanting to meet you for the longest time. Um,
Thank you for inviting me.
everybody says, no, don't call me that. But you are a bit of a legend in this field. You've been in the field of paranormal research for a long time. You're world renowned scrying medium, author, paranormal investigator. Um, so I have a list here of questions that fans and followers of yours have sent in because once I start my show has taken on a life of its own. Once I start promoting who's going to be on a particular day, people see and go, "Oh, cool! I love her. Would you ask her this if you get a chance?" So I've got a list here of questions that people want to ask you. So I'm just going to hit you right between the eyes with it, okay?
I'm ready.
Before I start, though, how are you feeling? How are you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you. Been busy with 3 sick kids and going everywhere, but
Oh no,
everybody's fine. And that's why I thought, go in your room. I got to go take care of this. And thank you again for inviting me to the show. I'm very sorry I'm late.
that's okay. I had a chance to share some things with my audience and kick back for a little bit, and it is what it is. These things happen, and I'll have you back. I know I'm going to have. Hopefully, you'll have fun and want to come back. But I know I'm going to. I'm going to now.
Anytime.
Now that I got you one time, that's what I
Anytime.
usually do. People don't know that once I hook you, that I always keep coming back and asking people back.
Anytime. I look forward to it because it what I do, I feel helps educate people on what they don't always know. And I'm not vain, and I try to do my best to help everyone. I don't know everything, but I do know quite a few things due to validation and as many psychics as I know. And just different people, the way we go about things all turns up to be the same. So I strongly believe there's a beautiful place that we go and a whole lot to it.
Absolutely. And that, before I even look at the questions, I have a couple of things I want to ask you. And you just talked about that. I know that you are a member of Pacific Coast Paranormal.
Yes.
They've been around forever. It seems like they've been around forever. They're also world renowned paranormal team.
Yes, we
A
are.
lot of people on the team, you being one of them. Let's talk about how back in the day, just about every well-known, well-respected, highly sought after paranormal investigator of his time or from back in the day, they all worked with psychics. Then the paranormal community went through this weird time, and I'm just going to call them out, and I'm not calling them out to judge. I don't judge, but like when Ghost Hunters first came out, they talked about how they didn't actually. You know what? I'm going to take that back. A couple of early episodes of theirs, they had a couple of psychics on there, but then they left, and then they never had psychics on their teams, and they even addressed it a couple of times that they don't work with them. And I knew many teams at the time that didn't. I am a very sensitive person to spirits. So is my wife. I know, like I know you, I know many, many truly gifted, legitimate psychic mediums out there. Um, I work with them. I love working with them. Uh, they're the ultimate paranormal. You talk about, equipment or tools, if you
Yes.
will. I hate to use the word tool, but they're like the ultimate, in my opinion. If you have one that's truly gifted that you trust, who wants to help, a lot of them don't want to do paranormal investigations because it's too much.
Right. A
But
lot of energy, quite a bit.
why do
Yes.
you think we went? Why do you think we went through that period in the paranormal field? And what's your take on why some of these teams don't want to work with a psychic, and maybe why they should, and just your whole feeling and take on that?
It's hard to believe psychics. Individually, I know we each have a gift, like you mentioned, and it's hard to trust, like the police department and working with missing persons. It's hard to believe and trust someone who may know something about you, but and they're fake. So when I deal with people, different psychics, mediums, gifted people of all kinds, we're tested. And I never ask questions. And they tell me what they feel and things that nobody knows. That's when it opens up. Um, Working for the police department, it is very hard to have anybody believe that we can actually help find missing persons. It's particularly the way I do it through photography. But we have quite a few people on the team, and one specific gentleman, Mark Nelson, he is so good with finding people lost, alive or not. So there, when you have so many hits that are positive and so many times they come up with answers, you can't, it's validation completely. And that's when you find really good people. And in our field, to be sensitive, to have any of these gifts given to us, I strongly believe we're fed different cases to work on to help God. I, for one, was raised devout Catholic, and I've learned Christianity, Buddhism, all kinds. I've studied all religions, and it's all about the positivity in each of them that I believe. So, given this gift, these cases just came to me, and they come to me often, whether it's at the store or just meeting people in general, there's always something that comes forth. And when I work with people, I don't know them, but when I find their um, loved one that passed, whether it's a newborn infant to a grandmother or grandfather or friend, um, when I come up with that photo and I don't know this person and they can match it, that's a big validation. It's so healing to people when they're so heartbroken and in tears and feel such a huge loss. And when they see that person come in with a smile, because number one, I ask God to come in and let them come through. I ask them to come through the spirit with smiles, and that helps prove that they're okay. And there's a whole lot more to it, but that is just one of the steps that we take in being validated or having to be believed in generally. And I know some of the shows out there use psychics, but I do believe it is really important to be open to being a part of believing in them, because we are gifted in so many ways.
Absolutely. And that, God bless you for doing that work. That's rough work, working with law enforcement and doing the whole missing persons thing. That's it can be heartbreaking, as much as it can be, rewarding. But that's hard work, and that's another question I want to ask you. Um, I'm finding that, like your situation, I'm finding that to be the case more and more now, where I will meet a gifted psychic medium who is working with law enforcement. And back in the day, there was a time where that was a big, I think it went on a lot more than they let on that we know about behind the scenes, but that was a big no-no. You would never catch, you know a detective or a police chief or, you know police commissioner or anybody like that openly announcing to the public, yeah, well, on this case we're working with a psychic. That
They
was,
never
they either were
admit.
totally against it or they kept it on the down low. What do you think the change, where that change is coming from now?
Even with the government, I'm sure they in the past and presently use intuitive people. um, I think it's just through being validated through their answers and findings, whether it's a body buried here or a missing person, that so many people will say, oh, this missing person is a runaway or a drug addict, or just all the negative comes out. But I have seen a few people who have such direct hits that they just can't be wrong. They're fed this information because they're so desperately wanting to help, and they're fed through their guides, information as to where these people are, how they are, what happened to them. But with so many times of being correct, they have to have their eyes open to it, even if they don't really mention that. So I do believe over a period of time, we have some very good people who step forward and have given us their gifts to show us proof.
Oh, you don't, but I feel like I should say that you don't know how appreciated, um, those of us that know, we appreciate the kind of work that, uh, gifted people like you do. Uh, it's, like I said, it's invaluable. And it's like my wife's, she keeps her gifts. She doesn't openly share her gifts with a lot of people, but I know, before I started working pretty much exclusively more malevolent type cases, she went with me everywhere on all these cases, and I would have to say 99% of them that we were able to bring closure to, I wouldn't have been able to do that without her being there and using her gifts to help me. And then after, of course, she, sustained a severe demonic attack on one case, I stopped taking her to those types of cases, and she fights me on that because she wants to go back and, continue to help where she can, but, uh, I I try to avoid. I try to sneak out more, and do those cases than drag her into that sort of stuff anymore. Um, Let's talk about you being an award winning, highly respected award winning spirit photographer. Now, when I wrote that down in the promo for you, scrying medium and spirit photographer expert. Now I'm thinking about, like, I have to laugh because whenever I go, when I take my wife on the case, and I still do occasionally, here she is. She'll have me stop at the drugstore. She'll go in and buy one of those throwaway tourist 35 millimeter cameras. I do have a nice, I'll admit, I do have a nice full spectrum uh, still camera that also takes, it's a camcorder. It also takes film, but I'm much more of a still person. I also have a high def, um, full spectrum video camera, but she gets some of the most outstanding photos on this little. After she's done with this camera, she takes it into the. It's a throw. They call it a throwaway camera. She takes it back into the drugstore. The photo guy. She says, "Now, when you print this stuff out, I want hard copies because she likes to make photo albums." She goes, and I also want you to give it to me half of, the rest of them on a disc so she can upload them in the computer and we can review evidence. But she gets some of the greatest photos off of these little throwaway cameras that you buy at the drugstore. Blows me away. So I know everybody talks about all these really expensive cameras and all of that. Do you have any tricks of the trade? I know there's some next generation and even some old school people watching that go, how is she, what is she, how is she so successful with the photos that she takes? It. I know a lot of it is your gift, but do you have a special camera or a special technique?
I have an old Nikon Coolpix. I use any camera. I didn't really want to use a cell phone, but I've noticed with technology, any camera works. I point and click. I don't even know how to set an ISO. It sounds ridiculous, but I don't. I point and click. And I have the fortunate luck of not having battery drainage. I think that somehow we bring in energy, and a lot of people get that. The batteries just go dead, but mine don't. And I like that. That's good for me. But just a point and click. And it's when I am off on my own in any particular situation, creepy or not, that is when I get my pictures. When I'm by myself, whether it's through a mirror or they're coming through in a home, you can see them walking, or oh my gosh, they're all over just in plain sight. So I do get a little feeling that, okay, it's time to take a picture. So I just walk off and take it. That's one of the good, that's what happens when I'm on my own, whether it's some oddity of perhaps extraterrestrial or whatever it may be. It's communication. I think that's the number one part of that is communicating. I ask if there's anyone in here, let's communicate. Can you show me who you are? Tell me who you are. If there's a case we have to work on, we figure it out all the way through. But knowing that there's a few people wherever I am, and usually they come in very quickly. So whether it's Native American or a biker type person or anyone, male or female, pets even, they all come through. And that is when people turn around and say, oh, okay, well, I was looking for my brother, but there's my two cats. It's good to know they're together. And I wouldn't have known they're her cats. They just sometimes come through, horses, birds, any animal. But there's always a story to these pictures. So if there's a case, that actually helps to say, find out who was there in the past, what happened, guarding the land or not. So it's very, I do believe the strongest part is communication.
Yeah, you just so well known for your photos, the many that you've taken. Let's talk about uh, in the short time we have left. Let's talk about real quick here. I'll try to get a couple of things in, and then I'm not even going to look at the list now because I'm going to save the list for when you come back.
Absolutely.
Um, what do you think about the energy transference with these pictures, and how does that occur? Do you believe in that? And if you do believe in that, how do you think that that occurs? Where like you take a photo, you capture the spirit in this photo, but now there's some type of residual attachment now to that photo. Do you believe in that?
Yes, because there are feelings that come in with these photos. I'm not that type of psychic where I can read everything happening, but I do get these feelings of whether, for instance, had taken a picture of a little girl. She came in with her horse. She was a Native American. I had a strong feeling she had drowned, and I believe it was her, either her mother or sister that came in. But I had to do some research, and they're way back when they were around. This was near the ocean, but this child, I believe, drowned in a well
Mm,
because there were no lakes around the area. This is in Beverly Hills, where the Chumash are quite prevalent. They're all over the city, but seeing them both and just picking up on that, it's hard to validate, but I have that feeling. And I tend to believe that. It's a hard when I just don't know. But with working with these pictures, if it is a negative type entity that comes through or something which I call non-human, I get sick to my stomach. I don't feel right. So something's negative. I never toss the photo. I just keep it in the SD card and put it aside. But there are times when certain things, when I'm working with spirit and I ask, which I've learned not to ask, what exactly happened to you here? How did you feel? I was working on a sci-fi case that I sold to sci-fi, and it was amazing because this biker, I went in first, took pictures, and there were bikers there. Well, the psychic came in about a week later and said, I'm surrounded by bikers. We don't communicate. We don't tell them the address, nothing. Sure enough, the entire story led to this woman was murdered. She was given an overdose of heroin, and they buried her bones in the house. And this whole story came to be. But I did feel that horrible, sick feeling, which I've never done drugs. That feeling I had to explain to friends that were nurses, and they told me it sounds like a heroin overdose.
wow.
And I learned not to ask. I don't want you to come into meetings. I don't want to know or feel. I just somehow we have to work that out through taking pictures. So putting everyone together, listening, talking, communicating, that story from beginning to end led into the person that was the missing person. She was murdered. Her family's at rest now. They know what happened to their daughter. But it takes a while. It may take a month or sometimes 6 months to a year to solve a case, but it's always something that correlates to someone's life and that we can put everything together.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it's there's a reason why you've mentioned indigenous people a couple of times, and we're talking about photos. I have indigenous friends that they don't like their photos taken. They've never really sat down and had a one-on-one with me and tell me why they're so weirded out about it. But I know that's a thing with them, so I don't push it. But you know, people need to take it serious. The spirit photography you got to take serious. And in the short time we have left, I got about 6 minutes left with you.
I'm so sorry.
Um, um, scrying's been around forever, and it's coming back. It's making a big comeback. My when I think of scrying, and I forget the name of the movie. Nicole Kidman starred in it. It was a
The others,
no, it was a Civil War piece
uh,
where in the beginning of the movie, her friends leaned her backwards over a well, and she had a mirror that she looked at the reflection of the water in the well into the reflection of the mirror to see her future, or if she was going to, her to see whatever vision she was going to be given. And I think of that. I know there's many different forms of them, and I know you've mentioned in stalking you this past week, there was a mention of mirrors. And when I think of mirrors, oddly enough, well, of course, I know lots of friends from like the Bible Belt Bayou country, Louisiana, New
That's where I'm
Orleans.
from.
Really? Yeah, you guys big about covering the mirrors when someone in the home dies, or if there's going to be a reception there of a, in a home from someone that lived there that died. Everybody always covers the mirrors. I have learned to take photos of mirrors when I'm on cases that I believe there's the presence of a malevolent entity because I catch them in the mirrors. It's the sometimes bone chilling, but
Yes.
it's also very, I don't know what that's all about. Ghosts not so much in the mirrors, but I catch malevolent entities in the mirrors. Um Real quick, talk about before I let you go. Talk about your technique, your fave go-to technique of scrying.
When dealing with someone who has just passed, I talk to the person about the one who's passed, their loved one or best friend, whoever it is, and I get together with them, whether it's from home, I work around the world by them taking 10 pictures and calling out for the person that is actually had passed away, no matter who it is. I have them send me these pictures and I work on them. People don't see what I see, so I enhance the photo only, and they come back and go, oh, that's my husband or whomever, and then they match the pictures. But what I do that locally, I do go to people's homes and we sit and talk about the person. So I work with my equipment so I can talk to them, they can hear them, and everything correlates. The husband will tell the very sad mother, this child, his father passed away. The wife was very upset. She was drinking beers, and you can hear her husband say from the other side, keep drinking. He knows. And he was a big, energetic, happy guy. And he's with his family now, his twin brother, but they come through verbally. Greg, I heard the first thing is Greg. Who's Greg? Oh, that's my husband that passed away, his twin brother. So then we start from there and we do the session, and then I run around and take pictures and ask them, look, we need to heal so many people here. Please come through. They always come through. It doesn't have to be in a mirror. I had worked with some resin. I work with art resin, and I had taken a photograph of this, and I saw my husband's father 2 weeks ago who had passed away right in there. I knew he was in the house. So it's good to know. It's good to know for David. It's good to know for his mother, that, he's still around, and it's just easy with the reflection. I do believe it is more easy for them to come through and be shown, to be seen. So that scrying works beautifully any time of day or night. But I do believe, it's best at night. It seems to work more easily. But anything can come through, like you're saying, because I have quite a few pictures of things that I just say aren't of our world. I've been told they're very negative, so I kind of just put them aside.
Um, in the couple of minutes I have you left with you here, I know many people call me crazy, and I could be. That's why probably every other month, or I try once a month, but every other month I sit and have an hour or two talk with a friend that's known me all my life, who's now a clinical psychologist, and I also have a friend that's known me all my life, who's a very successful psychiatrist. And when we talk, we just talk, and I tell them, listen, the last thing somebody needs at their home is a crazy exorcist. So um, if you ever think that need to give this gig up, uh, I'll trust your judgment. Let me know. Talk to me, and then let me know what you think after we talk. Like I'm at this in the freezer section at the market the other day, and I see a reflection of a spirit in the glass door, and I'm talking to it, but I forget. Now I put the blinders on, and I totally forget where I'm at. So I realize all of a sudden I stop, and I look, and everybody in the aisle, other shoppers, have all stopped, and they're just giving me this look like, "What is this guy's problem?" Um, do you get it? Do you get a lot of that? Do you just blow it off, or do
I
you?
do. And I turn around, and if I have my cell phone on me, I show them exactly what I do very quickly. And it's always mind blowing to these people. People think we die and go into the ground, into the dirt, and we do not. It's a beautiful transition. And we come back and forth. But I do know that quite a few people have done that, and I have to go and say, just here, quick, look at this. And then they have their own story. So, and then that's another way people come to me and need help. So I wouldn't stop, keep on going. And it is what it is. It is very true, very real.
Yeah.
Some believe, some don't, but we're out here to help everyone.
What are you doing? You said you had kids. How young are your kids?
Oh my gosh, I have twins that are 16 and a 14-year-old that just turned 15 and a 26-year-old.
So it's obviously is Halloween big in your home?
Oh, huge. We love Halloween. We do.
Do the kids go out and trick or treat, or do you all stay home and hand the candy out and decorate?
A little bit of both. They're still so active and they have fun. And yeah, I'd rather them go out and trick or treat. They don't do drugs, but for the people who don't, like the older kids coming, it's better they're trick or treating and having fun than going off and doing something they shouldn't be doing. So I let them go. They're my one of my kids. He's 16 and 6'1". So that's hard for him. He likes
Wow.
to hand out the candy.
Well, yeah, I am in that. I'm the weird old dude. My wife and I, we're the weird old haunted couple in the neighborhood. We've been here for 20 plus years in this neighborhood, and everybody knows the house is haunted. So we stopped celebrating because the kids wouldn't come to the house anymore trick or treating. There'd be a knock on the door. We don't. It would be the parent. The kids down on the sidewalk, and these parents come up to get the candy because the kids don't want to come up. So we thought, okay, maybe it's time to just not celebrate any longer. So I stopped putting the pumpkins out, and I turned the porch light off. I stopped decorating and doing all that. But who knows? I may bug you for a Halloween appearance because if you like to tell a good ghost story, I'm going to do a show on Halloween.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get you back to tell everybody a scary ghost story. If you're going to be around for Halloween, I don't
I
know if
have a
you.
good one. I had an episode on my ghost story, and it was of my mother. I got a picture of her full body apparition, and they put that show on for Halloween. So it was a good one, and I can tell all about that.
Well, you look at your schedule. I'll reach out to you. I'll see if you're busy for Halloween. That's okay. And if not, maybe I'll have you back on Halloween night because I am going to do it's a Monday night this year, and I have a Friday show and a Monday show, and I'm going to be here on that Monday night. Just me and my carved pumpkin and telling ghost stories that night. So if you're not doing anything, maybe I'll have you back that night to tell us all a great ghost story.
I owe you. Definitely. I'd love to. Thank you for inviting me. Absolutely.
Tara, I love you. I respect you. Keep doing what
Thank
you
you.
do. Don't worry about it. Things happen. I knew that you would pop in here late. I knew that. But I will reach out to you. Have a great remainder of your Friday evening. Give all your kids a big hug and a kiss for me, and I'll
Thank
talk to you soon.
you. I love you
You're
too.
welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'm here for you whenever you need.
I'll reach out to you. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you. Thank you. Take
Bye.
care.
Very cool. Very cool. I'll see. I'll take my schedule. If she's free on Halloween, I know I'm going to be here. I'll try to get her back and have her just tell her. That would be a great story. Cause I didn't catch that episode of my ghost story. That sounds like a great one. All right, guys. I'm so glad she finally made it, but I'll get her back. I promise for a full hour. I will be here this Monday, September 12th. Oh, you're going to love this guy. From Lake Erie Paranormal and Paranormal Mysteries. And he may even show up with his friend Bodine the Bigfoot. You never know. Jason Arthur will be here Monday, the 12th. I got people I want to thank. I want to thank my co producers, Zach and Adrian Clayton. They are the Claytons. They just got married. And I love them both too. So I want to thank both of them for, because I can't do the show without them because I know nothing about computers. I'm very computer illiterate. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in because I don't have a show without you. I want to thank Things Network. I want to thank Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. I want to thank Pact Podcasting for All Coming Together channel. I want to thank Skeleton Key Network, all for simulcasting my show. And if you get a chance, go check out the Pact channel. Little P, capital ACT, Pact. Um, Everybody that has a podcast on there are just people that love to help other people. Really cool. So check out their lineup there and their shows there. Zach heads that thing that station up. So that is very cool. So now comes bad joke time. That I'm going to pull a joke out of the hat that one of you sent in my poor effort to try and put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodbye to you. This is a long one. Do I have time for a long one? Yeah, I'll make it fast. And this is from Bishop James Long, who I inadvertently mentioned earlier in the show. This is a good one. Three brothers, ages 92, 94, and 96, live in a house together. One night, the 96-year-old draws a bath, puts his foot in, and pauses. He yells down the stairs, "Was I getting in or out of the bath?" The 94-year-old brother yells back, "I don't know. I'll come up and see." He starts up the stairs and pauses. Then he yells, "Was I going up or down the stairs?" The 92-year-old brother, sitting at the kitchen table having coffee, listening to his brothers, he shakes his head and says, "I sure hope I never get that forgetful." He knocks on wood for good luck. He then yells up to his brothers, "I'll come up and help both of you as soon as I see who's at the door." Good night, dog. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless each and every one of you. I love you all. Peace.